EP.2, the In-Schape podcast. My name is Josh Buff Comedy.
And I'm Adriana.
In today's episode, we're going to talk about how to transform yourself. It's 2023. It's a new year. So you want to be a new me. Everybody wants to either get in shape. Everybody wants to live their best life. Everybody wants to have that revenge body. They want to glow up this year. But most people do not know how. Every year we have a bunch of people across the world who want to transform their bodies, but for some reason, they can't do it. So in this episode, we're going to tell you exactly how we were able to do it, how we get our clients to do it, and how you can do it at home. Now let's take you through the Shaper's history. Now believe it or not, when we met many moons ago, which was like 10
years ago?
10 years ago or 9 years ago. I don't know. Who keeps count? We did not look like we currently look. In fact, we looked opposite. Now, on my end, I was 19, 5'7". I'm still 5'7". I didn't grow. I was 125 pounds. 5'7", 125. Only had one muscle in my body. I had one ab. It was weird. Had no biceps, no triceps, no chest, nothing. I was drinking liquor every night. I was in a fraternity. I was doing other things at nighttime. I was doing nothing in the gym except doing biceps every Friday because you want to have pumped up biceps before you go to the parties. That's a quick tip, right? But I was down bad. I looked terrible. And Adriana here, how'd you look?
Yeah, I had no shape, no strength. I had just recovered from my ACL surgeries because I tore my ACLs playing soccer. So yeah, I had gained some weight, freshman 15.
How'd the booty look?
No booty.
She had no booty. I still loved her though. I still loved her. All right, so she didn't have the butt going. She didn't have the physique going. I had no muscles going. We had nothing, right? But we decided to make a change together. We decided we wanted to glow up. We wanted to be the it couple. So we both decided to start doing bodybuilding around 20 years old. Fast forward, 8-9 years later, now we're both high-level bodybuilders, and we both reached somewhat our end goal, even though we're still trying to improve every single day in the gym. Now, how do we do that, and how can you do that at home? Now, we're talking about transforming yourself. There's 3 areas we have to focus on. The first area is mindset. The second area is nutrition. And the third area is weight training, and we'll couple in supplementation in with that. But again, supplements, we'll talk about that way later, right? So let's talk about that first area, mindset. Now, Josh, what are you talking about when it comes down to mindset? Now, everybody has access to meal plans, workout schedules, trainers, gyms. You can do anything. You can have a trainer come to you. You can do virtual training. There's meal plans everywhere you look on the web. But almost nobody can figure out a way to follow all these plans that are available to them. Why is that? It's mindset. It's discipline. Everything that goes into up here that allows you to accomplish your daily objectives to reach your end goal. Now let's talk about mindset in more of a macro term. When you start your journey through your transformation, you must come up clearly with what you want the end goal to look like. So Adriana, when you started, like you said, you were 19, no butt, no body. I still loved her. What was your end goal? What did you think it would look like?
Yeah, I always wanted that hourglass shape. I wanted the curves. I wanted to grow a butt. I wanted to widen the back, round out the shoulders. And eventually, I did want to compete, but I never thought, it was possible.
Now, notice this goal, right? A lot of people are going to have these goals, or I would even call them dreams. Because when you start a program, you're not in shape, you've never been in shape. When you have a dream like that, or like mine per se, I just wanted to be the man. I wanted to be the buff bodybuilder. I wanted to be that huge guy throughout the gym, and I was only 125 pounds. People would call that a dream. They call that something that almost seems out of the realm of possibilities. But that's what you want when you start. You want something that's going to push you every single day because it's going to take so much work to reach that goal. Now, what are not macro goals. Like, Adrian, what will a client tell you once they come to see you in the program? They'll say they want to lose like 10 pounds, right?
Yeah, so they're really stuck on a certain weight they want to reach and the number on the scale.
Yeah, and a lot of people will comment that, DM us that. I just want to lose 10 pounds, 5 pounds. I want to gain 5 pounds. I want to be able to lift 5 more pounds. These are not goals. So if at home you're trying to start your transformation, never start with, I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to lose 20 pounds. You want to figure out why you want to lose that weight. So when someone tells me they want to lose 20 pounds, the first thing I look into is, why 20? Why not 21? Why not 22? Why not 22.65? Why do you want 20 pounds? And what they usually tell me is, 20 pounds ago, Josh, I was fly. I was getting all the girls. I was getting all the attention. I was posting on IG. I felt amazing 20 pounds ago. Now that's where we start to figure out what your macro goal is. What did that look like 20 pounds ago? What did you feel like? How strong were you? Now we can start to build a goal. So when you start your program, you say, all right, 20 pounds ago, I looked like this, I felt like this, I want to get back to that. That could be your macro goal, but then you add some sauce on it. You want to be better than you were in the past. So you say, I want to look like this, feel like this, times 2. I want to reach this. So you need to start there, because if you don't start there, and you start with these small little goals, then you're never going to be able to keep the motivation, the discipline to keep pushing when you do reach small goals. A lot of times, like when clients, like for example, like if a client loses like 5, 10 pounds, sometimes they feel satisfied with that, right? They feel satisfied. Yeah, they might feel satisfied with the 5 to 10 pounds off, and then they start to lose steam. And then guess what? You're going to gain that weight back anyway. So again, that macro goal is so important. Now, when we're talking about mindset, let's go into another place. Delayed gratification. Like, don't you tell clients a lot about that? Like, it's going to take time.
Yeah, it's the instant versus delayed. Your daily work, the results aren't going to be immediate. So you always have to that's why it's important to keep that macro goal in mind, because that's going to be the delayed gratification that you'll eventually reach.
Exactly. You got to make sure you understand that. In anything in life, it's going to take time. Like, you don't just get hired at a job and you're like, you know what? I want to be CEO tomorrow. It never happens that way. You might have been at your job for 5 years and you're still trying to work towards a promotion 5 years in. That's because you have your macro goal at the end. When you get into a job, you say, my goal in 10 years. They ask you that in job interviews. What do you see yourself in 5 years? Because that's a macro goal. Why, when you get into your gym goals, it has to be tomorrow, it has to be next week, it has to be in 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It makes no sense. It's going to take time. Now, throughout your gym process, you should be seeing results pretty frequently. But to get to where you want to be, it's going to take time. It's going to take years, maybe weeks, months, time on time on time. But every time you go to the gym, you're trying to improve, and you'll eventually reach that macro goal. It really is ridiculous, though. It really is ridiculous when people expect to change that quickly. Like, think about how long you might have been out of shape. You might have been out of shape for 10 years, 12 years, 15 years. You expect to get back into shape in 2 weeks? So you get 15 years, and you're only giving yourself 2 weeks to get back to where you're supposed to be. Be realistic and understand that's gonna take some time, just like everything in life, all right? And the gym is just like life, all right? So let's continue to flesh out this mindset topic. Now, the last part of it is this. You gotta understand that throughout your journey in your transformation, life's gonna happen. Like, things are going to happen. You already know it. Work's going to happen. Relationships are going to happen. Family issues are going to happen. Financial issues are going to happen. You're going to have a bad day, a bad week, a bad month. These things are guaranteed because if you're looking at your past, you can find those same things happening. So when those things happen, like Adrian, when those things happen, like in your life, don't you usually fall back on the gym to give you some therapy, some relaxation?
Yeah, I always saw the gym, as a time where I could de-stress. I had control over what I was doing. And, I felt good. It gave me that positive mindset to get through, busy times while I was doing my master's or, just hard times, hard personal times that you go through in life.
Yeah, the gym is your therapy. The gym is going to give you the satisfaction you're not getting from life. Remember, every time you go to the gym, that's your me time. That's your selfish time. You earn that time. Most people spend their entire lives focused on other people and other things. You're focused on your job, your wife, your husband, your significant other, your kids, your family. Focused on paying bills. You're focused on everything but yourself. So you need to treat the gym as self-care. So every time you skip the gym, you're really just putting the middle finger up to yourself. Always remember that, because no one else is going to care. No one cares you're working out. That's for you. So the faster you get to that mindset, you treat the gym as a fun place. The gym should feel like the club. Now, I don't know about you. When I go to the gym, that's like me going to the club. You know, I put my good gym outfit on. You know what I'm saying? I put the chain on. I put my earrings on. I put a good outfit on. You get ready for the gym.
Yeah, you know, good gym outfits always
motivating. Yeah, women be spending thousands of dollars on the gym outfits. Going to the gym should be like the club. It's a fun experience. You need to treat it as such. The faster you get away from treating the gym like a chore, the faster you're going to get to the results. You have to fall in love with the gym, all right? So again, to put a cap on this mindset thing, oftentimes with any pursuit in life, your mindset will dictate how far you go in it. Like in your career, you have ups and downs, but you keep your mindset looking forward. You say, I got to get to work, put the work in, even if I hate my job. And there'll be times during your fitness program, you're going to hate it. You hate the cardio, you hate the diet, you hate the training, but you keep pushing through because that macro goal. Just like at work, you might hate your boss. I hate my boss. I've hated my bosses my entire career. That's why I ain't got no boss right now. But even when I hated my boss, I show up to work. I put the time in because I knew I needed to keep working. So one day I don't have to have a boss. So one day I can get to my end goal. All right. So mindset, we can go on for about 40 hours about mindset, but you have to make sure that you keep your mind straight during the entire process and look towards the end. Now let's get from mindset into the technical side of this, right? Because, you know, mindset's great, but we have the technical side, which is number-based. And it's going to always be the side you kind of fall back on when times are rough. And we're going to start at nutrition. Nutrition. Remember, dieting is what's going to change your body. A lot of times people can go to the gym, but they just can't diet. That's the majority of people in the country, right? So when we talk about nutrition, when we started off our program and we started off our transformation, like Adrian, what type of stuff were you eating?
Oh yeah, I was just eating like granola bars. It was a lot of snacking. So small meals throughout the day, cup of noodles, the college life, you know.
Yeah, and we were both in college at the time. So before I started the bodybuilding, you know, I was eating at the DC. We had something called the Dining Commons. We eating whatever we wanted.
Freshman 15.
Yeah, freshman 15, adding the freshman 15. I didn't add no freshman 15 because I was doing other things. But just put it this way, I was getting skinnier. That's what I was doing, right? I was getting worse. So again, when we started our program off, it's not like we were eating 6-7 meals a day. It's not like we had any idea of how many meals to eat or what to eat. Now, before we get into kind of like how to get onto a meal plan, it's still important to understand when you start a plan where you need to be. Like, you need to understand where you need to be. So, for example, like Adrian, when you get a new client, you're gonna send them kind of where you want them to be, the first meal plan, right? It's gonna have all the different meals, right?
Yeah.
Like 5 meals. It's structured, weighed out, right?
Definitely.
Like a first meal plan, how much meals would that have? Like, not even a first meal plan. Let's go on to the end meal plan. We have a great client. How many meals is that going to have?
Anywhere from 5 to 6 meals.
Yeah. And again, when you search meal plans online, you're going to see meal plans around 5, 6, maybe 4 meals per day, right? Now, when you're just starting off on your transformation, you're going to look at that plan and say, what? 5 meals a day? I barely eat 1 meal a day. I eat a bunch of snacks all day. You know, I don't eat real meals. And chicken and rice and salmon and what is this? I eat taquitos. I eat pizza. I go to Chipotle. What do you expect me to do? How can I possibly go from my lifestyle now to doing a 5-tier meal plan? That's what you don't want to do. What you want to do is this. You understand where you need to be. So my clients, her clients, we give them a meal plan where we want them. That might be a 5-tier meal plan, right? But what we do with them is this. We work with them to help them approximate that plan, right? So with a new client, instead of focusing on them eating all 5 meals, you might have them eat 2 or 3, right?
Yeah, so most importantly is, you know, building a good foundation where you have consistency on your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So a lot of the clients that we start off with, you know, they skip breakfast. So, you know, instead of skipping breakfast, they can just incorporate something, you know, like a protein shake, something easy, like on the go.
Yeah, exactly. So this to kind of bring this more into perspective. If I give you a meal plan today, I can literally give you a meal plan today that if you followed it perfectly, you would be successful. But you're not going to be able to do that as a beginner, as someone who's just trying to change their lifestyle, change their life, right? So instead of hitting those 5 meals, you say, all right, let me try to get 2 out of the 5 in today. Let me aim for that breakfast and lunch to be perfect. Even if your dinner is so-so, You say, all right, I'm getting those first 2. I'm starting to change my bad habits, all right? Then you start to work, all right, let me get those 3. All right, let me make sure I'm measuring my food. Let me make sure everything starts to get perfect. And you'll see over the first couple weeks, you're slowly starting to change all those bad habits. And then voila, 3 to 4 weeks in, you're nailing the meal plan. A lot of times where people go wrong is they might get that meal plan at the start and they try to be perfect on it right from the start. You should always try to do your best. You don't get no bad points for trying to do your best. But you need to understand, if you're trying to do your best and you fall short the first couple weeks, 3 weeks, even the first month, you're still doing better than you did yesterday. Always remember that. You have, like I said, going back to mindset, understanding that you're making slight changes right now so you can do bigger changes later. So if I'm eating junk for my whole life and suddenly now I'm eating 2 healthy meals a day that are close to the meal plan that's going to get me to be successful, then I'm making progress. So again, to sum it up, you want to know where you need to be. So you're going to need to get a meal plan. Where do you get that from a trainer? You get it online. You just need to make sure you have a meal plan that's actually going to lead you to success. And then from that meal plan, you're going to try to approximate it. All right? You're going to try to get some of those items in the first couple weeks. Then as you go along, you're going to be able to start approximating that. Now to go to the next point about nutrition, there's something called desert dieting. Desert dieting, which kills everyone's ambition when it comes to dieting. A lot of times when people start dieting, they say, I gotta be perfect. Like, I gotta be perfect. I gotta be perfect. I gotta be perfect. So they'll go 7, 8, 9, 10 days on the diet, trying to avoid all cheat meals. Some people say, I'm not eating carbs anymore. I'm not eating fats. They'll do desert dieting because they're so stressed out about how they look, they just want it to be now. What happens when you desert diet? What happens when you desert diet?
You just, it creates binge and you fall off the plan and you're going to gain even more weight than before you even started.
Yes, binge eating. So a lot of times when you start your program at home, if you do desert dieting type of method where you're just trying to avoid everything, then you're usually going to binge. You're going to break. So 7 days in, you say, I can't take it anymore. You're going to go eat a bunch of junk, throws you off your plan. So what we want to do at the start of the week is we set a date and a time for the cheat meal. Unless you're on some sort of bodybuilding, cutting, you're on some athletic endeavor coming up. If you're just trying to change your body and you're not doing those things, everyone can handle 1 cheat meal a week. It's not going to stop your progress, provided you're doing everything else correctly. So set the date and time. Like you'll set the date and time for your clients,
yeah,
right?
All my clients, they have a set date that they look forward to. And that also keeps them on track during the week. Like they look forward to it. It's their reward at the end of the week. And, the food also tastes better.
Yeah, exactly. And remember, it's like a party. I always tell my clients this, like, if Saturday you about to go to a function, you about to go to a rave, you know what I'm saying? You're going to turn up, you have tequila, some Coronas, you're going to be turning up on the weekend. It's a lot easier to go to work Monday through Friday. Like if I know I'm about to go to a party on Saturday, I can say on a Tuesday when my boss is yelling at me, Josh, just make it to Saturday. Just make it to Saturday. Same thing with dieting. On a Wednesday when you're struggling with your diet, if you know Saturday you're going to get to go have a burger, maybe a drink, then you can push through. All right? So make sure you set that at the beginning of the week and make sure it's on a Saturday or a Sunday. Don't do it during the weekday.
After your check-in.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say next. So you have clients check in every, what?
Every Saturday.
And in the morning?
Yeah.
And what does a check-in look like?
So check-ins include progress photos. They take their weight first thing in the morning, and they also send me a breakdown of how their week went.
And they don't eat before the weigh or drink, right?
No. After bowel movement.
Okay, perfect. So again, this is so important, and this still is close related to the cheat meal nutrition. You have to track your progress. You can't just say, I'm changing. Every Saturday morning, take your weight, take some pictures, and then have the cheat meal after that. All right? You don't want to have a cheat meal before that, because say on Friday night, you dieted all week, but Friday night, you had the cheat meal, and then Saturday, you take your weight. Your weight's going to be up. It's going to be elevated. You had more sodium into your body, more water into your body. You're holding more digestion. So you're not getting an accurate reading of how you're progressing. So set the cheat meal date and time directly after the check-in time. So you have accurate readings, you get your weight number, and you feel good because you progressed and now you rewarded yourself, all right? So again, that is crucial. Now talking about cheat meals. Notice I said a meal, I didn't say a day. You don't get a day of cheat meals. Like with your clients, they get 1 meal, right?
Yeah, 1 meal. You want to make sure you get on the plan right after. You don't want it to turn to a cheat day or just a bad weekend. Yeah,
exactly. You don't get cheat days. The idea is you get 1 meal, even a dessert with that meal is fine. You get one meal, one time period where you're off the diet. Then you're back on it right after that, right the next day. A lot of times people think that because it's the weekend, they can just cheat all day. That's going to hurt your progress. Remember, your body doesn't know that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Has no clue. Body has no clue. It just knows the numbers and what it takes to change itself. So if you go 5 days of dieting on your nutritional plan, then you have a bad Saturday and Sunday because you're eating whatever, you're going out to the bars, drinking tequila, tearing up the town, right? You're going to hurt your progress. Your body's not going to drop anything. Remember, your body has to be in a deficit over a 7-day period in order to see change. If 2 of those 7 days, you're just saying, whatever, F it, I'm going to do whatever I want, you're not going to be in a sufficient deficit to see any results. Plus, if you're taking home cheat days, multiple cheat days in a row, your metabolism is going to change. Your body's expectations are going to change. Your digestion is going to be affected. Your workout's going to be affected. You're throwing everything off. So remember, you can throw away 5 amazing days with one bad day. All right? 5 amazing days with one terrible day during your progress. I'm not saying that if you have one bad day, it's the end of the world. It's not. We all have bad one days. But you have to recognize, I can't have this happen habitually if I'm trying to change at a high level. Now remember, everything we talk about before this, after this, in the future on this channel, it's all about changing yourself at a high level. If you're just looking to go to the gym, lose a couple pounds, then you can just do whatever you want, right? But that got you to a place where you're searching up videos like this, right? You have to understand that if you want to look different, you have to be different. And being different involves one cheat meal a week, all right? So again, to go back to nutrition, obviously, and I think we should touch on this a little bit more. What meal plan should you seek out, right? Like how do I find a correct meal plan for myself? How do I build a correct meal plan for myself, right? Now, when it comes to building meal plans, you want to be in a deficit, right? So what's BMR?
Your basal metabolic.
Yeah, exactly. BMR is how many calories you burn if you did nothing. In a coma, you're still burning calories. That's how amazing the body is. In a coma, you'll burn calories, right? That's BMR. So I'm going to give you a quick little thing on how we structure these plans as coaches and trainers and as people trying to change their bodies. You have your BMR, right? That's going to give you a base number. Now, let's say for someone like Adriana here, her BMR, because she's a smaller person, it's going to be around 1,300 calories. That's how many calories she burned if she did nothing. Now, you can go online and search your BMR. This calculator is for it. It's going to give you a good number you can go off of. Maybe it's not like to the percentage point perfect, but it's good enough. We all use it as trainers. So let's take Adriana's BMR. It's 1,300. Then we add the calories she's expected to burn throughout the day. This is why working out, cardio is so important, being active. So let's say Adriana's doing 30 minutes of cardio. She's training weights 35, 40 minutes at a high level. She's walking around throughout the day, different things she does. She's a trainer. She might burn in 2,200 calories during the day, which is an amazing day. That's 900 calories you burn through activity. So we take our 2,200 calories, and now what do we want to do? What do we want to do from that 22?
So you want to put them in a calorie deficit. So that's the only way that you're going to lose weight.
And what roughly calorie deficit would you go for clients?
So 500 per day, that puts you at a 3,500 calorie deficit per week, which normally aims for 1 to 2 pounds per week.
Yeah, and remember, when we go back to that 500 calorie deficit, that's going to, again, that goes back to the cheat meal thing. If you need to be in a 3,500 calorie deficit throughout a 7-day period on average, again, this is on average. Some people are higher, some people are lower. On average, to start losing weight. And you have bad days in there where you're adding surpluses towards the deficits. It throws you off. That's why people don't lose weight. They're like, what's going on here? That's why. So again, going back to how to structure a diet. We take Adriana's 2,200 calories. Let's say 2,100. Take her 2,100 calories. We minus that by the 500 she suggested. That puts us around 1,700, 16 to 1,700 calories, provided wherever you want to go on the burn rate. So let's go to 1,600 calories because it's more of a round number. So now we have our 1,600 calories as our daily goal, right? Now what do you want to do? Now, if you go on the wrong sites, they're going to say you don't want to do too much protein. You want to do 20% protein, 60% carbs. What was the rest? 20, 60, 20% fats. That's your diet, right? That's wrong. Remember, we're talking about performance dieting here. This is performance dieting to get you to look better, feel better, perform better, which is what everyone wants. We're not talking about holistic dieting, which to me is just dumb. I mean, holistic dieting in our field has no place because our diets can also be holistic while also giving you results. So we take our 1,600 calories, and a good place to start off with is a diet that comprises anywhere from 30% to 40% protein. If you're new to protein, you're new to eating protein, you might want to start with 30%. right? So we start with that 30%. Then for the carbs, we can do, 40%?
Yeah.
And then fats, we do 30%. So 30, 40, 30. If you go on like bodybuilding.com, you'll probably see more like 40, 30, 30, or 40, 35, 25. There's different splits you can do, but a good place to start is anywhere from 30 to 40% protein, anywhere around 40% carbs, and the fats can be anywhere from 20 to 30%. That's a good place to start, right? Now, what do these numbers mean? What do they mean? Those numbers are the percentage those particular categories make up of your diet. So we take the 1,600 calories. If it's going to be 40% protein, we need a calculator, but let's see what it's going to be at. So 1,600 calories, 40% protein is going to get us roughly around the 700 calorie mark coming from just protein, right? So 40% of 1,600, right? Because half of 1,600 would be 8. So yeah, 700. We're on the same point. We're on the same page here. So 700 calories coming from protein. Now we have our 700 calories of our 1,600 calorie diet coming from protein. We take that 700 and we times it by what?
For protein or carbs?
For protein.
0.4.
0.4. 0.4 do we times it by? Because carbs and protein are 0.4 and then fats are 0.9. We times that by that. Then we're going to get, I believe, with no calculator. I got no calculator. It's going to get us around 160 grams of protein, roughly. Somewhere around that. We don't have the calculator right now. But it's going to give you around 160 grams of protein within that 1,600 calorie diet, right? So now we have that 160 gram protein. And from there, what we're going to do is try to structure our meal plan so we hit those numbers, right? So we'll go further into dieting on the technical side in other videos, maybe our next video. But just know that when you're starting out, to sum up what we just said, you need to find a meal plan that's going to give you an exact idea of where you need to be. Find a way to approximate it. Make sure that meal plan is structured around a high protein diet, moderate carbs, moderate fats, and then you go for it.
Most importantly, be in a deficit.
Yeah, and then make sure you're being in a deficit if you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to lose fat, which is the majority of people who are trying, again, to change their bodies. It's never usually the other way around. Now, if you're trying to gain weight, gain fat, that's going to bring up a whole different type of strategy. And as far as like your surplus versus your deficit, if we're trying to recomposition our body, then usually we might be in a slight surplus. That's for guys who are super skinny or women who are super skinny. But usually even in that case, like I'll get skinny women and men, but they're still skinny fat. A lot of you guys might think that you're just skinny, but some people are skinny fat too. They have high body fat and they're skinny. So we still need to start off in a slight deficit, a slight. So we start to lose some of that fat, high protein diet, get them eating more. Then over time, let's go into that surplus area, all right? So we have nutrition down, we have the mindset down. The last part is your training, all right? When you're trying to transform yourself, the tool that's going to transform you is the gym, all right? The gym is the hammer, the nutrition is the nail, I'll put it that way. So the gym is the hammer, all right? Now, when you're starting off in weight training, you're trying to transform yourself, the most important part is going to be learning form, right? So for you, learning form, right? Where did you go to learn form? Did you look at YouTube videos? Did you get help from someone?
Yeah, so I did my own research, but going back to form, getting your form and technique down is crucial because the strength is going to come. You're going to apply progressive overload, but if you're doing wrong form at a higher weight, then you're just going to injure yourself.
Exactly. So the good thing about me that we had that you could also get at home is this. When I've been lifting a little bit longer than Adriana, so I had a vague idea about form, but not that great. But when I started lifting and trying to get into better form, I actually sought out help and showed to see. I actually asked a trainer at the gym. I dropped my ego. I asked the trainer, hey, can you look at this? Can you look at that? Can you teach me this? It's good to find people that can help you teach form in person because it's a lot different in person than the YouTube video. The YouTube video, you'll figure this out a lot. You can look at something and not be able to replicate it. But when someone's with you and someone's helping you, then they're going to be able to show you the little nuances that make you a great lifter. And you want to make sure that you understand what you're doing throughout your workouts. Because if you don't know how to do a workout, you're not going to get results. All right. So we're not just saying that because we're trainers. I'm literally telling you, before I got into training, I asked somebody for help. I helped her out when she started. And then we also use just doing our own online research. All right.
Doing your own research, but making sure, it's trustworthy information.
Exactly. Because there's a lot of folios online, a lot of folios at the gym. And a lot of your friends are folios. All right. Because I have friends who I said, hey man, can you show me how to do a deadlift? And they would show me something completely crazy and I would do it and then mess myself up. All right. So you got to remember this. Just because someone's in shape doesn't mean they understand how to do it. You know, you always hear this. I have a buff friend. I have a buff wife, a husband. No, if that was someone who's going to help you, they already had helped you. So you have to understand that it's a lot different from someone that knows how to teach it. So get yourself some help. And if you're going on YouTube to look at it, make sure you look at the right stuff and make sure you're starting at low weights. Don't do ego lifting. It's okay to grab the 10 pounds. Like you were using plastic weights, right?
Oh yeah, plastic weights, 5 pound on the leg press. Yeah, just make sure you nail down those forms and techniques first.
Yeah, the weight will come, man. The weight will come. I always tell guys at the gym, you don't get to lifting 400, 300 pounds by starting there. You start at 10 pounds, 20 pounds, and it eventually comes with that. So that's the first thing is form. 2 is a workout schedule, right? You need to develop a schedule for yourself or get it from someone else who knows what they're doing. Now, it goes back to that nutritional point. Ideally, like how many times would you like a client to get in the gym, ideally?
Ideally, 5 days minimum.
Yeah, 5 days, 6 days maximum. You want to get that 1 day off at least, right? So 5 to 6 days is what's going to usually take for you to change your body on these transformation plans. Now, if you're not going to the gym currently at all, then you got to, again, what do we say in nutritional? You have on the refrigerator what you want to do, and then you have what you're doing to try to approximate that. So if you only can go 3 times because you're trying to build up your schedule, you're trying to build up your mind to get there 5, go 3 times. Because every time you go 3 times a week, that's a win. Then up into 4, up into 5, right? That's good strategy.
Have those short-term goals. Because if you go from, only going twice per week and then trying to hit 6 days a week and you don't hit that, it's going to be really unmotivating when you don't reach those goals.
Exactly. You got to understand, like, when you first start a program, you're going to be sore. You're going to be a little more beat down from it. So you might not be able to get to the gym the next day. You might be too beat down from it. So it takes time to build up that endurance, takes time to build up that consistency. But the most important part is you understand where you want to be at the start of a plan, where you're going, where you're working towards. Now, when it comes to like what you want your plan to look like, obviously I'm going to be more of a fan of isolation training, compound training, learning the basics. I'm just going to say this right now. A lot of times people start their programs out and they don't understand that the first goal should be to learn everything. You don't want the gym to be foreign to you. You want to be able to walk into any gym around the world and say, okay, that's a dumbbell, that's a barbell, that's a squat machine, that's a lat pull down, a cable. I know how to use it all. Now I can manipulate it. So the first 2 months of your program should be based around learning everything, learn how to do the basic movements with proper form. Then if you want to move into athletic training, cross training, whatever, triathlete training, boxing training, whatever it might be, you can try to move into that as you go. But when it comes to transforming your body, the most consistent way of doing that is the old school way. Training weights, doing your cardio, eating correctly. A lot of the other workout programs are not going to push you there mentally wise and even on a physiological wise to start to change your body all around, all right? Like you usually start clients off with a more of a traditional.
Yeah, and then honestly, stick to the staples. I know you saw like a new video on YouTube and they're doing something crazy or fancy that you want to try to replicate at the gym, but honestly stick to your staples. We've been doing the same exercises for 10 years now and we get the result. We get good results.
Yeah, and that's an amazing point, a great point by Adriana. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, people are posting their workouts trying to get noticed. They're not necessarily posting them to try to help you. So you see someone doing a backflip into a whatever, they're doing it to get noticed. You see someone doing 500 pounds with no type of form, they're trying to get noticed. A lot of people are just trying to get more likes and follows and more views. If you go about just following workouts from those people, then you're going to be led the wrong way. Because oftentimes those people, guess what? They do that for the camera. I've been at the gym, done workouts with guys, and they say, hey bro, film this one for me. And we change the whole workout just for that one film. That happens for all of us. Everyone does it.
Yeah.
In fitness, all right? Right? You agree with that?
And honestly, how do you expect to improve if you don't continue to practice those staple exercises? So that's how you can tell, your progress over time.
Exactly. So remember, working out is I'll go back to the mindset. You have to enjoy the workouts. You have to push yourself in the workouts. You have to strive to be stronger. Remember, don't hide yourself in the gym. Don't try to just coast. You can go to the gym 5 days a week and be doing nothing. There's people, I go to the gym every day, 7 days a week. And I see the same people every day I go, and they never change. And that's no shade on them. It's just saying that you can go to the gym 7 days a week and never change because your diet's no good. You're not training harder. Remember, your body gets used to whatever environment it sees consistently. So if your body is used to a certain weight, a certain workout, you keep doing it over and over for 4 or 5 months, the body's going to say, okay, I got it. Whatever. I can handle this. You have to challenge yourself and become uncomfortable, right? You have to try to get comfortable.
Another good point is, too, I have a lot of clients, they're like, oh, I spent 3 hours in the gym. But, it's not about how long you're in the gym. It's about, how focused you are, the intensity you're training at, not about the duration.
Exactly. So you can be in the gym 3 hours and do absolutely nothing, and someone can come in for 40 minutes and do everything.
You're
right?
like distracted, scrolling on your phone.
Exactly, and that's another good point. You got to make sure, like I said, the gym is not a time for lollygagging, to sit on sitting on the bench and going through Instagram. The gym is the time to put in that hardcore work and see what you got. All right, it's a lot more than just muscle building. It's a mental thing. To be able to go to the gym, train 2 hours, 1 hour, 45 minutes, as hard as you can, and then go home. There's something valuable about that. So remember, when you go to the gym every day, stay focused, stay on your plan, make sure everything you're doing is correct form, and make sure you're working towards progressing yourself, all right? Transforming yourself, like I said, it's a process that seems daunting at first. It really does. I'm not shortchanging it. If you're overweight, you've been overweight your whole life, you've been skinny your whole life, you've been whatever your whole life, you felt invisible your whole life, the prospects of trying to change that over a monthly period, it can seem tough, and it is tough. But you gotta understand that the science is guaranteed. There's no guessing when it comes to dieting and training. That part is in stone. If you do these things, you're gonna look better. We know this. The main issue behind all this is, are you willing to sacrifice and make those mental changes in order to make yourself better? And then we'll end it off here, actually. This is a good point to end off on when it comes to sacrifice. So we sacrifice on a weekly basis. So what sort of things do you look for clients that they need to sacrifice on a weekly basis?
Yeah, on a weekly basis, if your friends want to go out for drinks, or they want to get dinner on a Tuesday or on a Wednesday, before your check-in day, you're gonna have you have to make sure they understand why you're doing this.
Yeah, and remember, you want to be different to your friends, right? When I meet with clients, they want to look this way, do this way. You have to do different things. So you can go out. I'm not saying you can't go out on a Tuesday night, but you bring water. You drink the water. You eat before you go. You eat before you go. And it seems crazy, right? You're saying, Josh, what the heck? I'm trying to be social. No, you told me you wanted to get in shape. That's what you told me. You told me you wanted to feel different, look different. You want to wear a different size dress.
It's a priority.
It's a priority. And you're sacrificing a priority for some junk food and junk alcohol, for a junk club, for a junk restaurant, for one night. And remember this, I'm going to tell you this, I'm going to stress this to you. When you sacrifice going out, you sacrifice eating bad food, you might think people will alienate you. You might think people will say, oh man, what are they doing? They suck, I'm not going to call them no more. No, people begin to look up to you.
Yeah, that's true.
People begin to reverence you. People begin to talk great about you. They say, hey, I have a friend named Adriana. She's a bodybuilder. This girl never eats bad. Never. I swear, let me show your IG. Let me show you.
And honestly, if they're real friends, they support you, they'll support you, and they understand why you're doing this, just to better yourself.
Yeah, sacrifice is important in every function of life. You sacrifice for your job every day. You get up early. You don't want to go. You want to stay at home, but you sacrifice that because I'm trying to get this money. I'm trying to get my career. I'm trying to support my family. You sacrifice there, all right? You might sacrifice in your relationship. You do things you don't want to do. You might go places you don't want to go. But you sacrifice because you want the relationship to work. So yada, 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 right? But the gym is another place you're going to need to sacrifice. The nutrition is a place you're going to need to sacrifice. Things that you do, say you come home from work, and we'll end it off soon, but things you come home from work, instead of just sitting on the couch and watching Netflix or whatever, going to the gym, sacrificing that Netflix time for the gym time. But that shouldn't really be a sacrifice because the gym is supposed to be funner than goddamn Netflix, all right? So we'll end it off on this. We'll recap. We have 4 tiers for transforming yourself. We have mindset, we have nutrition, we have training, and it's sacrifice at the end, which is basically just like mindset, but I just wanted to put it in because sacrifice is so important. These things are going to lead you to begin to transform yourself, all right? Now, the underlying theme we said throughout all these things is information. You're going to need information to be successful. You're going to need a good meal plan. You're going to need a good workout plan. You're going to need a good supplementation plan. You're going to need to understand what it means. So studying yourself, reading things because it's your body, you need to know what's going on, maybe getting some help from a trainer, from a educated friend, not a buff friend, a friend who knows what they're doing, someone who actually cares about you enough to call you out, not a friend who's just going to take you to work out with them and make some chicken for you. I'm talking about someone who's going to call you out, tell you what you need. These are the tools that's going to take in order to transform yourself this year, right? So again, episode 2, In-Schape podcast. We went over the keys of transforming yourself. The last video, which you'll see, we talked about the myths in fitness. We'll be talking about a lot more. We'll be showing more workouts on this channel. We'll show our prep vlogs on this channel as we get ready to try to become pros. We'll show you how to do everything. We'll show you how to meal prep, but we're just getting started. I'm Josh Buff Comedy.
And I'm Adriana.
We'll be back.